Welcome to episode 48 of Breaking Hertz. And for the last time, kama kawaida, it's your boy Hafare, aka Rodney Malik Casino, aka Mr. Metronome, aka your girlfriend's boyfriend. And with me today, I have a very, very, very special guest.
Your girlfriend's boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Kuna context. Austin knows.
Okay.
But anyway, I have a very, very, very special guest with me. Leo, please introduce yourself.
Finya hizi vitu bana.
Hata nimesahau gani ni gani. Naweza fanya cricket.
Nachoma.
Wait, let me check. Oh, ndio air horn.
Ama ukifinya ita.
Wait, ndio hiyo.
Itaharibu.
Oh, itapanda sikuwa nimeweka nini? The last one. So I didn't even register. So we'll do it katikati at some point.
Blinky. Sema ni aje.
Niaje.
Wagwan.
We out here?
We out here.
You know, it's funny how, like 2 years ago, I was interviewing you in the same exact circumstances where somebody else was supposed to be here with me and they cancelled on me last minute.
I can see a running theme.
Yeah, there's a theme. Like, if I had a penny for every time this has happened, I would have 2 pennies,
Penny
which would be
Billy.
strange because, yes, shout out to Penny Billy right there. Shout out to the homie Antro and his brand. You've seen him in the Penny Billy jersey before. But yeah, it would be weird because 2 years later, the same exact occurrence. But anyway, unfortunately, Suki is not available today, but I have a more than competent co-host. So,
Am I your co-host?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's get it.
Now, before we get into anything else, it's been a minute since people heard from you. Like, umekuwa underwater, undercovers, you know, touring the world, playing those big stages, the local stages, international, all the festivals. Your passport was stamped, booked and busy.
Imejaa.
Sindio, passport imejaa. Like,
Passport bros.
we're constantly in your house. Immigration wanakujua by all 3 names by now.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
But what have you been up to since, like, you released the last album?
What? It's been 5 years, bro. What have I been up to? There was pandemic, so tutoe kama miaka 2 hapo. So generally everyone should be their age -2 or -3. And then
So I'm still in my 20s. Damn.
and then just, you know, I feel like I've released a bunch of singles, like where I was just like experimenting, figuring out like what works, what sticks, what doesn't. Because I don't like releasing the same sound again and again. So hiyo saa zingine hiyo ningiza kwa mashida mingi, but pia I wouldn't do it any other way. So yeah, and then now it's like finally my album is not with me, is with the DSPs, unless niongeze wimbo moja ingine.
Unajua by the way, because I had the opportunity to listen to some tracks on the album
a
while back.
Yeah.
Sindio, and it's like there's this like give the people what they want. That's all I'm gonna say right here.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
Yes.
At this point, like just give us a release date. Tuambie sawa, ndio siku album inatoka.
Give the people what they want.
The masses are screaming.
But like, the thing I can say is that I don't think I've ever worked as hard on a project as I've worked on this. And so when you hear it, you will know. And so I feel like all will be forgiven. Asanteni sana.
You sound like a government employee giving a speech in Naivasha on a retreat.
Bahali yake.
So, speaking about the pandemic. The pandemic was a very interesting...
Pandemic.
Yeah. The pandemic was a very interesting time for me, especially musically, because I felt like there's a lot of artists who took the time, now that you couldn't tour and you were not outside, you couldn't play clubs, you couldn't go outside. So artists took their time to just experiment with their artistry and see how far they could push.
Yeah.
For example, one of my favorite albums, Pop 2 by Charlie XCX, it was made during the pandemic.
Listen to that.
It's really good, like very nice hyper pop.
Yeah,
but
I know that's you.
That's my thing.
Can I curse on this?
Yes, you can.
Okay, oh, that's your shit.
Do you feel like you also underwent the same like sort of metamorphosis during the pandemic, where everybody's inside? You have your keys, you have your like drum machine, and you're looking at it like, so let's see how far I can push this thing.
I think so, and because for a long time, like after my last album, I was on the road constantly. Nyumba yangu ilikuwa kubadilisha nguo and I'm out. And then pandemic, like I'd never imagined a world where you're not playing music. Like before pandemic, I'd never even imagined that that's a possibility. So I was doing like a lot of those online sets and nini. Then eventually I was just like, why am I so tired? Just like, yo, the world, it's like, it was really punching me. Like just that time. I was like, let me stop everything and let me just chill for a bit. And in that chilling, it was really cool because now I could look at everything with a bit more perspective. Now when I got back into studio, I was like, oh, okay. There's things that I've wanted to do that I've not done before. And sonically, there's so many different places I want to go. Like I'm always like restless sonically. I'm always like, whatever I make is gonna be very like it's gonna sound like me, 100%. Like whichever direction I go to. But with choosing all these different directions, like I have a hip hop hat, I have a pop hat, I have an Afrobeats hat, I have a house music hat, like all these different genres that I love so much. And also like when I go to like shags and I listen to that music, I'm just like, there's a way that I could reinterpret this that is just so easy vitu zote. Now my producer brain takes over. And yeah, it's been pretty cool because now I feel like, hey, tumefanya kazi. So Poleni, I talk you next week.
Yeah, because the last time we talked, you told me it's coming out next week.
Oh.
So I was just talking.
Like, should we call this episode Deja Vu?
Yeah. It feels because 2 years ago, this is just to give context, 2 years ago, and around a time like this, near the end of the year, we were with you recording and you played for us what was initially the first draft of this album.
Yeah.
And I do believe that draft, does it still exist or was it completely scrapped? Is the album now completely different from what it was 2 years ago? It's
undergone so many different changes. And so, yeah, Saizi, it's been refined a lot more. There's artists who I really wanted to work with and I've ended up working with. And also pia imenichanua, yani, like I see so much, like with my last album and this, like the difference for a lot of people is going to be day and night, which I feel is how I'd like my projects to be. It's like when you listen to, who's a good example of this? I feel like Janet Jackson is such a good example of this, where it's just like, she had a rock phase and the music was like a super rock. And then there was a phase where it's like, she has Q-Tip in there. And there's a phase where it's like, and it was such distinct times. So it's almost like she's always going back to give you a different side of her. So that's the closest artist that I can think of at the moment who I'm like, okay, this is gonna feel like that.
So those tracks that were in the first version we listened to like 2 years ago, most of them are scrapped from the album, I believe.
No. I think I played you Dracula, which is coming out next week.
That's what you played. You played Dracula and Blankets, and there's another one. I've forgotten the name.
Get That Paper.
Yes. Get that. I have questions around that song, by the way.
But yeah, so there's one which is I played you, but I hadn't written to it. And it's also like, it's one of my favorite tracks that is on the project, but it's not because I couldn't figure out how to ride that beat proper. So I'm also super critical of myself. So what happened was I've put it on, it's going to be on the deluxe. So already like I have like 16 tracks.
Very exclusive. Kuna kuwa na deluxe. Like if you didn't know, if you're planning on getting the vinyl,
kabla hata itokee.
If you're planning on getting the vinyl, maybe just to wait for the deluxe. Like tunakupatia mwa Kenya by the way. Kuna deluxe hapa hivi.
But actually, the vinyl might have the tracks of this project, and then the re-release, inshallah. We'll add some of the tracks, because also this has been the hardest project for me to even. I'm not objective about it, because every track taps into something that I really like, but they're not similar to each other in that way. And I think producers will understand me more, because producers, we always we never have this thing where there's producers who like to make the same thing, but there's producers who are like, there's another point that this idea can go to. And so even choosing a single, I don't know how to choose singles of this project, because it's going to be like, I'm going to choose something, and then I think we're going to let it out into the world and then let people decide. That's going to be... So the one that has been a constant is Dracula. The rest of the album, or the tracks, we're going to do vile tunaona sasa watu wana respond.
Yeah. So you've spoken about how you don't know what the singles will be. You're just waiting for the response.
Yeah.
I do know that there are loosies from the project, songs you made but I ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
The last time, I remember the time we talked about Kudish.
Yeah.
If for those who don't know, Kudish is just a band mixtape from a while. How many years ago was it?
Bruh.
It's a long time, but I love Kudish. It's called Kudish, the sound of soup.
Kudish Nyao, the sound of soup.
The sound of soup.
Yeah.
So there's a remix to Keroro, a remix to Fly.
Yeah.
There's a remix to Hahe. And it was a free download, yes?
Yeah.
So have you...
Sasa ndio mtoe pesa, bro.
Sindio. So for me, it's
tukiwa charge 25k kwa gig.
Yeah.
Msiseme kitu.
Kuna catalog.
Toa pesa, bro.
Kuna catalog. So me, but I am still very... not even insistent, just hoping that you can just give us those loosies. Hata kama ni 4 or 5 tracks.
Yeah.
So
chuck
things
them
as... Yeah, things off the cutting room floor. Just throw them in a bundle, throw them on a link, and then tell guys, yo, this is what's happening.
Okay, I'll do that, because I realized that...
Oh, you'll do it?
Yeah. No,
Wonderful.
Because the frustrating thing sometimes is that I have had so many songs that could have had a life of their own, and even this last Blanket, there's a song that my band wanted to play, and I was like, yo, we need to play this song, and we've played it many times. I made that song in 2015, and we used to play it, and when I was playing in Europe in 2019, it would be the song that we'd be closing the set with. And they were like, yo, please play this song. We have to play this song. It's such a banger. But I'm like, I checked it from the set, because I was like, I don't feel like it represents me right now. And they were so mad at me about that. But I was like, siko baya. But I can see where a B-side of songs of a tape that is just B-sides. They're all they're good songs, but they just don't fit in this universe right now. I can see how that could work.
Yeah, I really, because in the, how's it, early 2010s, late 2000s to mid 2010s, that was the MO, especially for hip-hop artists. You give a project of loosies, stuff that isn't on the album. That's a mixtape. That's for building hype. That's what's going out to blogs.
Yeah.
That's what's going out to tastemakers. That's what's being played in the car in the hood. Sindio, watu kasi. So once that goes out, it's like when J. Cole nini yake ya kwanza inaitwaje? Album yake ya kwanza. I really have forgotten, because I do remember Friday Night Lights was supposed
Friday Night Lights
was the mixtape was supposed to promote the album. But the mixtape was actually better than the album. It's the same way when Wiz Khalifa put out Taylor Alderdice to promo Only Nigga in First Class, or NIFC. Yeah. But Only Nigga in First Class was so much better.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
Taylor Alderdice was better. It's been a thing. So I want that to come back. Give me Lucy's, like throw me a bone. Nipatie just a few tracks.
Yeah, kumbusha.
Hey, Blinky bado ni mnoma hivi.
Untitled and Unmastered.
Unmastered, yeah.
Where I was listening to it the other day. And such, like, that guy, man. Kendrick.
And
King Kendrick.
I feel like even with like stuff that you give out for free, there's more space for exploration.
Exactly.
Because you're not expecting an ROI, or you're not, the label isn't on your head telling you, or like there's nobody telling you like, we need a radio friendly single, we need this single has a rollout of Evie. This is just music I'm giving out to people to listen to.
Yeah.
When even Disclosure 2015, they put out an EP. Why am I forgetting the name of the EP? But there's a song on there called Love Can Be So Hard that is exploring future funk. There's even Sudanese like jazz
on
the EP. Yeah, it's like 5 songs where they explore so many different genres from all over the world. I'll forward it to you.
Yo, one of those guys produced a song on Mac Miller's album. It's a blue world without you.
Rest in peace to Mac Miller. I didn't go for the gold. I didn't go for the gold link short blankets because of that reason.
Bro.
Imagine.
What? Tunaweza your story pia. But then what's it called? The production on that song on Blue World. That's one of the songs that I had. I was just like, I wish I made this song. It's because it's so good. I DJ it.
I saw you tweeting about Mihadarati by Wakadinali.
Yeah.
Ruby, kuja enda tu kwa mic. Enda tu kwa mic uongee koko na maoni. Enda tu kwa mic.
I don't have a question. I just want to hear your thoughts.
So that song, the first time I heard it, I was in the car, and Nini had just come out. Haitaki Asira. It wasn't even on streaming. You had to buy it. So I bought it off Mook, and then it's the last song on the album. And then when the sample comes in, and it just be like tin 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 tin. It's Top Loader, Dancing in the Moonlight. And when you tweet, and I love that song so much. And even the themes they're talking about. That song is like 2 minutes 20, but it has such the imagery and the storytelling is really
writing
good. The
writing is so good.
Yeah. So when I saw you tweet about how you wanted to be in the room when they made that beat, it just got me wondering, what other beats have made you feel like this? Like where you as the producer, umesikia ukasema, "Wa, I wish I was there," or "I wish I made it."
Like honestly, that's Mihadarati is like, it's such a. The first time I heard it, I was like, "Wait, did they buy this beat off of YouTube?" Oh, because I'm like,
it was. I remember it came out when it came on streaming. It was pulled.
Yeah.
I think because of like copyright, but then it came back. So I don't know how they sorted that out.
So is it? Look, because I want to know. It's like it's such a clever beat that those are the kinds of beats that when I hear, I'm always like, I wish tungekuwa a society that gives proper props where props are due, because sometimes we sleep on such. Like, si shida ya Kenya peke yake. It's a global thing where everyone's being shepherded towards the same things. So it's almost like a lot of people like the same things, a lot of people. But there's so much we're missing, like that sip through the cracks. Like, I don't know, does that song play everywhere?
Nah, very few people actually know that song.
Mihadarati,
very few people.
I was like
let me even look up the YouTube views.
Do you listen? Do you like it to Jay-Z? Listen. Do you listen to music or do you skim through it?
But that song is it's so good. It's so good. And I love Wakadinali's earlier work.
Yeah.
When they were working with, is it Nani? As in RS66?
Yeah.
Because there's this song that Hawatapenda.
Yeah.
The production is really good on Hawatapenda. Like ndani ya cockpit too.
Yeah.
Starehe ndani ya roho.
Yeah.
Manga na Manangos. There's so many songs on there that have really unique and very, like, the production fits the themes. Before it went really full drill.
Yeah.
And even when they went full drill, I really enjoyed it. I still think that Kim Jong-un is the best Wakadinali song. Like, I really do believe.
There's someone who begs to differ in the flow.
It's 150K, like, and it's 3 years ago. So, like, the song doesn't get...
from 3 years ago?
Yeah. It's from when they were all putting out their, like they put out Ndani ya Cockpit 2, and then they did all of them did their own solo projects. Because I remember I bought 2 of their albums from them in 1824 Katikati.
Yeah.
Like they had come for a performance and I was there. And like after that, I was just talking to them, hey, you know, like we have our albums here, like physical copies. I was like, sir, simnipatie basi, like, is the price of what, 3 beers?
Yeah.
I can stay sober for a night. Support Kenya, but then for real, this is
In this economy, by the way.
that's the
3 beers.
You know, when you put it in that context,
Yeah.
it's shocking how people don't support Kenyan artists. Because if an artist puts out a project on, there's so many platforms from Mook to Hustle Sasa to wherever, to even streaming, or it costs less than what it would cost to buy a beer. Because you'll go on there and find an EP for 300 bob.
Yeah.
A beer is 350 in most places. So it's one less beer for you, but you're putting money in this person's pocket.
One
who you
less.
support. Not like Nani, not like MF, not one more beer. One less beer and you're putting money in this person's pocket. So, but yeah, it was in that period before they put out Ndani ya Cockpit. No, before they put out Victims of Madness.
Yeah.
Before they really before Cardinali became Cardinali. When they were still like,
before they became mainstream.
before they became, when they were bubbling up, when guys were like, when talking about Cardinali was like I'm Jewy.
I'm Jewy.
Yeah, I'm Jewy Cardinali. Wow.
Niko nyuma,
And then
yani.
around the same time, Nini came, Morio Nzenza came, and then now the whole wave came through.
Yeah.
So now, actually, speaking about evolution, Ivo, as an artist,
Yeah.
how would you describe how you've changed between the last album and this album? Sonically, like, even in terms of writing, presentation, everything.
I was gonna say just before to end it, like even the hook for Kuna mahali nafaa kuenda nani sahi vapenda
Boxer Sawasaki. I heard that album.
hatutaki kahunitambui siku. It's just
Shout
like,
out to Akadinali, by the way. Shout out to Akadinali.
I'm sorry guys, I'm like,
You know what?
I had that hook nikafunga comp. You know what?
You know what would bang? You know what would bang? Wakadinali on a Blinky Bill beat. Because we've had Octofizo.
Yeah.
Octofizo on a Blinky beat was dope.
Yeah.
Octo on a Blinky beat was really, really dope.
And it's also like alinipata time, kuna watu unipata time ile nimeiva.
Zimeriet.
Basi ubenefit yani. I was just like, I met Suicider. Like, I've never really met them. So I met them and he saw me and he was just like, yo, man. Like, I was just telling me, tukiwa kwa gari tu kusikiza. It was so weird for me because I'm just like, I didn't even imagine that one of them would tell me that. But it was also cool to know that. But I'd love to sit with them and just see what we can do because their melodies, like melodies, the writing, and also I feel like sometimes shida ya Kenya is that there's so many people you could learn from in different genres. And I remember there's a time when I was invited for a podcast on what's it called? On Gengeton. And people saw me on the panel. I was like, umse anakam kutusho nini juu ya Gengeton, hata is not a Gengeton artist. I'm like, bruh, I might not be a Gengeton artist, but I've done things that could, if in terms of insight, I could give you some game that could make your life easier. So a lot of time people don't think about that. It's just like when I wake up in the morning when I'm having coffee, I'll be listening to like interviews for different people, not just artists who are in my field. I want to hear what architects are talking, like what concepts they are on right now. I want to hear from so many different disciplines. So for me, it's never about Atio. I want to hear from an artist who's like me. And so niliona hiyo conversation nikasema actually mimi sina ainisaidii in any way to be on this panel, but if we are if we are gonna be honest, like there's insights that sometimes when we're talking you could get it, like you could get a new perspective of it. So ulikuwa unaniuliza nimechange aje from Murags. Nimesema ni aje. Umeshow up vile unataka tu yani. So what's it called? How have I evolved? Hafu nimeongea mob, but ni podcast, so ni sawa. After nitakuwa a bit more rare.
Unaingia mitini underwater in the famous words of Vibe Cartel. In the famous words of Vibe Cartel.
Nikaa nimekuwa nikiongea sana the last 2 weeks. Nimechange in that, like on my last album there was a song with Sampa the Great, which was for me like one of my favorite songs on that project. But also I was too happy to, you know that thing where it's like you, oh wow, it's like Sampa is on my album, where kuna ile like you're almost like unajishikilia kidogo, because I'm just like, but then now I'm just like I'm no longer as impressed by whoever. It's just like whoever is on the beat, we're gonna go like tutapelekana teke. And it's not in that competition type of way, but it's just like I feel like I've become so much more myself than I was on the last album, because I was dealing with production and dealing with writing and dealing with like melodic things. I was like, now I think that niko tu na there's a confidence that I have on the project. It's just like, and you're gonna hear it, that I was a bit more laid back in the last project, but pia singekuwa at this point without
you have to go through that.
You have to go through it and then
to get
assess
here.
it, and also criticize yourself now. Honestly, not kujitea down, but just being like, oh, okay, what could I have improved on this nini, or on this track? What could I have done better? So even ndio iko.
So does this shift in mindset?
Yeah.
Did this shift in mindset like influence your choice of features? Because some of the features on the record are really, really good. One of my favorite Kenyan vocalists is on there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to start to spoil it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but did this shift in mindset influence who you chose? And you said like this beat would be really good with this person, or was it just like come here to record and then we'll figure it out after the fact?
I think generally kuchagua features is probably one of my most underrated skill, where ningekuwa na resources kaza record label poa, I would be able to pull off even more, because I listen so widely. I'd know this beat needs, as soon as I start making anything, I was like, oh, okay, Mudhoni ataingia poa hapa, Sampa ataingia poa hapa, Octopizzo, like this is not a beat for me, it's a beat for someone else. Kali would be cool on this with Manifest, like those kinds of things where I think they happen and in the moment you don't see it. And sometimes even like as someone who I listen to a lot of old Kenyan music, we miss so many opportunities. Like Sayo, which is why for me I'm like, Mia Darati is such a dope track, and I'll always say it. It's like I want that thing to be celebrated now, and not 10 years later. It's just that's when you're catching on to it and be like, oh, that thing was so cool. It's like, nah, fam, this thing is hot. It's hot now. Good job. So it's been my strong skill in the past, but now it's just like even more clear because even the sample you want to ask me about
Yes.
was like I made this beat with Emok, and when I was listening to it, there was a picky space over there in Katikati. I'm just like, you know what would be cool if I could get like a Swa salmon on here. And then I went to YouTube. I was watching salmons. It's a Pius Muiru. I was just like, and I had like this part where it's just like kuna kitu ambayo umekuwa ukitafuta miaka nenda miaka rudi, ukawa hauipati, ukawa umekata jasho na umechoka, na saa zile umerelax ukasema haitawahi kupatikana, inaenda kujileta yenyewe in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. I was like, there I have my thing. And funny enough, I didn't even have to do anything to it. I just chopped it and put it in the beat. Didn't adjust anything. And it fit in perfectly. Like it's like a part of it. So I can't even check it. Ata kizusha.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Pius.
The first time I heard it,
the
first time I heard it, I was like, wow, it hit me because the song, like, it's get that paper, it goes, and then the beat just cuts. And then when I get Pusmiro, you hear just Pusmiro just coming in. And I was like, what the fuck? And it fits the theme kabisa of the song because the song is about getting paper.
Yeah.
So like, iyo kitu umetafuta, usiacha kutafuta. You played it at Blankets live. And I think because basically you played at like 8.
People didn't.
Very few people. Ruby, you were there. You didn't catch it. Very few people actually caught the sample in the middle.
Yeah.
Mainly because everyone was kind of drunk at that point.
Yeah.
It's like 8 p.m. at Blankets. Clearly,
Yeah.
watu wamelewa. But I think one friend of
actually-
mine actually caught it.
Yeah.
And was like, wait, is that a sermon in the middle of the song? Because I was with her and she was like, wait. Uni pastor anaongea? And I'm like, yeah. Because once it hits, because
I think it's
the song.
It's gonna land more when everybody hears it.
Yes.
But you know those things where it's like I can't even explain to you what led me to that thing, but I was just feeling that, and that's what I'm saying is that instinct where I just feel like a Swa salmon makes sense here. It's like it's not a normal thing to do, but it's just like I feel like it needs it, and to find it, and I don't even have to do anything to it other than cut it, and also it fits exactly into that spot,
that space
slot. It's like hata kanisu nitawambia tu yenyewe hiyo ni God man.
No, fair use.
ni God.
Una claim fair use.
And also the thing is that they might never really allow me to use it if I go through the channels, because it's like your context when nani
kwanza.
you're not like super. I'm known but not known in their fields. So it's just like gonna be like the answer would be no. So it's just like Casey Badai.
Speaking of Sasa, the album, we were talking about this earlier. Today, for those who don't know, we're recording it on the 2nd of November.
2nd November.
Today is the Sauti Soul VIP show, of which tickets were what, 20,000, 25,000? 25
pesa, bro.
Pesa mingi. Watu Nairobi wako na pesa. Ni wewe pekee una. Like, whoever's watching this, if you think about it, everybody in Nairobi has money except you.
Damn.
So,
It's a hard knock.
can we get like a release period date for the album? Not a date, like just like give a ballpark estimate.
I want to, obviously. What I know is like end of next week, I'm releasing the single that's like saying, okay, this project is coming.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Sasa.
And because of, the guys who are helping me release it did not have the project. So when I sent it to them, they're like, yo, okay, we don't even know what to choose from this. in terms of like it's a big, like it sounds big. And whatever happens, like when it comes out. Like, but najua in the back end, me and everybody that's worked on it, like we've done the highest possible standard that I could possibly do, and we could possibly do at this moment. So also because I've worked on it for such a long time, it does not make sense to just drop it easy.
Okay,
which is what was gonna happen. It's just like,
Autaki surprise drop kama Beyonce.
but I mean, even the watu, have you seen when guys are like, when the audience is like, you're at a concert, and so the artist is like, hey, what's your mkoaji? And it goes out and jumps and tries to crowd surf.
Yeah.
And then watu wanahip. Or kula sakafu.
That's what you're avoiding with the release.
No, not that. Because so many people are waiting. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I think in terms of just honoring the work that we've done, it's cool to also give. Na hii ni kitu saa zingine watu waelewagi. Ni Beyonce anaweza toa, inaweza kaa ni kama ameitoa tu. She's just released a project, but that's not how it works. They have the machinery. There's the PR side of things, which is like they pay people so much money worldwide. So Beyonce can say, it's Wednesday, this project is dropping Friday, and it's going to happen smooth. Everyone's going to know about it. It's like, it won't be like, oh, Beyonce dropped an album and we didn't know about it. You know. Hata ukwe wapi unajua. And that's the factor of the machine. So surprise drops could work. But also I'm not, like, I feel like this is such a landmark project for me. So I want to kupiga as much noise as we can.
Yeah. So back to like the whole Sauti Sol thing. Once the project drops, like is there, because the last person who was here and talked about a show was Charisma. And he did his show, like I think 2 months after he was here on the show. He did his show at Alchemist, which unfortunately I got like literally derailed to on the way to the show. Like nilikuwa naenda and then kutoka nita kando, and then somehow through side mission ikatokea and I didn't make it.
Niggas.
But but the reviews for the show are really good. So
sorry, censor me.
But anyway, so here's the thing, sir. Is there a Blinky Bill VIP show that you can look forward to? Because here's the thing. You are in that position where I feel like you're in that position where you are that Kenyan artist who doesn't like, it's not attention that you get, it's intent. Like your fan base is very intentional with how they consume your music. If you were to say, Sawa, I am going to put out like, there's a 50-person limited show, like, and every ticket is like 10 G's. It's gonna sell out. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like a whole. You have the very deep catalog for yourself and just the band, covering across so many years. Is that something you would consider? Because I feel with what Sauti Sol are doing, and I said this before, if this turns out to be a success, it becomes another. It will be. Even with like Soulfest, the action on Saturday, today the VIP show, the VIP show being a success will now show the artists, hey, it's time for us to invest in the super fan. Yeah. It's time to like, if there's somebody who's willing to put 20K of their money to come see me, then why am I not tapping into that fan base? So is that something you would consider?
Not even consider. We're gonna do it.
Hey, okay.
Because
you heard it here first.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
All exclusive.
Big Dave. Dave. So yeah, I love my fans. It's just like I don't. It's not even a word I generally use, fans, but like there's people who have shown up for almost everything I've ever done, and that's even from Just a Band days. And also when I became a solo artist, there's a whole new audience that I got that doesn't know that I'm a part of. I saw someone at like Blanket's time being like, I didn't even know this guy was part of Just a Band. I saw that tweet. I was like, eh. So them, they just know me
As you.
as me. And it's so cool to be able to do that, to talk to these different audiences over time, and also still find. So that's literally why I do this. It's just like I'm always trying to better myself as an artist. So I don't care what anybody else does. Nasiko baya. I'm like, in terms of trends or like charts or anything, I've been able to make a living without being super played on radio. So and I've done a lot of cool. So for me, it's always the thing of, it's almost like rewarding, making sure that you're rewarding the people who've been with you, and also whoever else who might like my music, who's never been in the way of, like, they've never had it, but if it's presented to them,
They'll enjoy it.
So that's my target right now. It's like, well, kuna watu hata staki kuongelesha ka uta ni pair time of day, sina shughuli na, but wale watu wanataka kunisikiza, and the people who might like, they just don't know, but if they knew it, they'd be on it. Those are the people that I always want to talk to, but also to push the envelope, because African music, saa zingine, I always feel like it can be a bit obvious, and I miss the days when you'd hear like a Neka and be like, with that, like Neka, Kanan, those kinds of guys in mainstream music. Because right now it's like, I know what I'm gonna get, and this is because as soon as people figure out that this thing is working, then they'll be like, oh, let's give them more of this. But it's like, let's take the example of the American music market. You have so much diversity. Like, even just in hip hop alone, it's like there's so many different type pockets of hip hop that you could tap into at any given time. And then ukitoka hapo, there's like Jill Scott, there's Red Hot Chili Peppers, there's like Incubus, there's Charlie XCX. Ule mse wako wa chromosomes anaitwa nani? Kiglock.
I worship at the altar of Kiglock.
Nilijua tu hiyo itakufurahisha.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So it's just like, there's so much diversity in that music as compared to African music right now, which I get it. Is like, we are in the door, and not everything can fit through the door at the same time. So it's just like, those guys have gone in, so wameingia kwa mlango to create space for a lot of the other acts. And yeah, that's what I want to do. Is I want to meet people where they are sometimes, and lose people sometimes, where it's just like, I'm not imprisoned to what you guys want me to do. But also, the cool thing is that my fan base and my audience has given me the freedom to do that. It's just like, well, whatever unataka kudu, ukitaka kutoa instrumental, it's cool. Ukitaka kukuwa na rappers, like heavyweight rappers, it's cool. If you want to check like some, whatever it is you want to do, just do it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Nimeongea mingi, nisaidia maji. Ama ile juni yako inaitwaje? Kabiri ya gym.
Now, tukaribu kumaliza, relax. Like, so we have a few minutes left. Okay. So, just one of my final questions. So, album 2 hatajatoka bado. But now, and I know you haven't even looked beyond album 2 at this point.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I have to like theory craft. So, if you were to do like, as you said, like you have artists in mind when you're creating beats, when you're writing. in your mind, let's say album 3, which again is so far away. I'm sure you've not even thought about it.
I have actually. But,
Okay, so you
but
have.
I won't go into it.
Yeah,
Up
so-
and-
So
that's,
theory crafting. This is just
Yeah.
it's like fantasy football at this point.
yeah.
Just throw out names you feel like you would really want to just do album 3 with. Kenyan artists, actually. I would love to get to the Kenyan aspect of it, or East African. Guys, you would see like maybe, I know you've listened to like a song on radio, on TV, and you heard this artist and you're like, wow, I could do this good thing with this artist.
Yeah.
Like anybody in your mind who you look at and like say like, this would really bang with this person or with that person.
Top of mind right now, Costa. Costa Juang.
Okay.
We're at a scene anywhere. We're definitely cooking. I had a chat with Brandy Maina, and just like, because I feel like she has like something that in as like akona as that X factor, and also the cool thing about that is like, if you have the right people around you, they can really take you far. So you look at someone like Tyler, she has like such a good team behind her. Like me, I remember seeing Tyler. Now, in another life, I'm a record executive for sure. Like, Mnipetu Pesa, Universe, record exec. But I saw her open for Chris Brown. I was like, yo, she's about to take off. And it's just like, it's not even about the music. It's just like, unaona gatu mtu unasema, okay, inaweza enda mbali. And then with investment, it goes. And funny random fact is get that paper. As soon as I made it, nilijitoa kwa hiyo equation, because I was Sada, my bass player. I was just jamming in studio. Like he wrote that melody. I was like, yo, let's take that loop. And I was thinking this could be a beat for Anderson .Paak. It's just like, it just feels like such an Anderson .Paak beat. And I forgot about it. And then like a year later, nilikuwa naisikiza. It's like, hey, kitu iko na potential.
Na ni ulitengeneza.
Hey, bana umse ni mbaya. But then as soon as I was like, I might never meet this guy. I was like, it's a reality of life. It's like, you want things to happen. I've wanted a lot of things to happen, and they've happened. I've wanted a lot of things to happen, and they've not happened. So it was just like, what if you never meet Anderson .Paak? He beat it akatu kwa comp. Like, actually, no. So I started working on it. Then the first draft, I sent it to Sampa. And she was like, yo, it was around December last year. First draft I sent to her. But in my head, I was just like, I was feeling like this should be your song. So nikakaa nayo. And so we were talking, and then akaenda on tour, and maisha yake ikakuwa busy. Maisha yangu ikakuwa busy. I was like, this is cool. Like, she doesn't have to be on it. I can actually, verse zote kwa hii wimbo ni zangu. So I started working on it. Then I sent it to Emok to just add a bit of sauce. And then when it came back, I was like, yes, I can see why this wasn't going to be a track for me to send to other people. And it wasn't for me to wait on whenever it'll happen that I'll meet Anderson. It's just like, if it happens, cool. But wache kue that ilifanyika, then if we ever meet, this happens.
Okay. So I think we are running out of time kidogo. So just one more thing. For the listening audience, for your fans at home, for everyone who's been waiting 5 years for new music.
Bara msikilizaji.
So, what can you just like tell them? What can they expect from the new album? Maybe just give them, maybe drop one or two people who are on the album. Maybe
Nimedrop sana actually.
Just vibe.
Finya rewind. Kwa hii nini.
Maybe the vibe of the album, what they can expect, maybe sonic changes, just anything to get them ready for the release. Because Saisi rollout going to happen. If the single is coming out, when this drops, the single should be out or just about coming out.
Yeah.
So what is now? It's rollout season.
It's rollout
basically.
season.
So what can they expect from the album when it does drop?
It's my most ambitious project. It's like and also it's my hardest hitting project because I remember wanting to I was watching Masego and Gold Link at Afropunk, and Gold Link just played his show on his own without a band, and the music hit so hard that I was just like, my next project needs to sound like this. Like it needs to be like whether I'm playing with my band or not. Like your bass lazima iku slap yani. And so like we've worked with one of the best engineers, and then like the guy who mastered Jay-Z's Black Album, J Electronica's last project as well has mastered this. So it's like your album J like you to add.
Me honestly believe J Electronica's album was going to be a video game. At some point.
No, it was
vaporware. It was like guys just thought it was really vaporware. It was like inakuja ulikuwa unaambia tu inakam. It got to a point where JLX album got to ilikuwa kama detox. People just talk about it, but no one has ever seen it. No one knows what it's about. And then when it dropped, everyone's like, "Wait, this thing is real."
It's
like if Dr. Dre ever drops Detox.
It's such a good album, like that album. And so we did that, and like from Blankets, when we tested out the new stuff, I was just like, oh, okay, what I've always wanted to happen happened. It's like it you can feel it through the speakers. It's just like it's alive. So expect some music for you to live with for a while. Vile mina yona.
5 years in the making.
5 years in.
This is like kuna mtu alizaliwa na kushule.
A slow cooked album.
But like there's a kid who was born sayako PP2.
Oh my God.
Since the last album dropped. That's how much time it's been. The people who got married and divorced since the last album. The people who got married to your song and now hate your album. The previous one.
Yeah. I get that.
But once again, thank you so much for making the time. And I know you are very busy with the rollout and, touring. Booked and busy. Mr. Stamps in the passport. Mr. They know your name at JKIA. They know your girlfriend names at Nayo House.
Mr. Your girlfriend's boyfriend. Thank you.
Checky, allegedly. Allegedly.
Eventually.
So yeah, this has been the end of the episode. Just a quick message for everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for supporting us throughout this year. I think this will be the last one for the year until we'll take a break. So thank you so much for the community around the show, for everybody who reaches out, for everybody who listens, for everybody who's been on the show this year, everybody who liked the playlist, everybody who's just been vibing with us. We really, really do appreciate you. And I guess I'll see you on the flip side.
See you on the flip side. Hawakuwa nauliza maswali.
Oh wait, jeez, guy. Do you guys have questions? Ruby, do you have a question? Sikuja ulize. Oh yeah, so it's not bye. So apparently for the first time ever, we have an Ask the Audience.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. Caller number 3.
Caller number 3.
Speaking to the mic. Yes.
For starters. Thank you so much for the efforts that you're putting into the music industry. I remember the first time I discovered Just a Bad, I was probably in Form 2.
Damn.
2010. Yeah, 2010
it's time
I was in
for
Form
me to
2.
hang my books.
Mine was 2009. So it's like it's the same period.
Okay, I have so many thoughts right now. I'm just trying to arrange everything in order. When do you know you've gotten the song, like the it song?
Yo swali wangumu because I've there's songs that I've believed were gonna really do the thing and they didn't do the thing. So what I say is like I give them the best fighting chance. So it's just like I feel it like right there's songs where there's some songs that maybe on the new project that I was like, no, this is gonna sit on my comp. And then when I listen to it again, I'm like, nah. I'm sleeping on this. And I have to move back and be objective and be like, yo, this song in his end. So, and also if I can't stop playing it, like there's a song right now that I can't stop playing. And it feels like there's nothing that sounds like it because I would like see when I'm going out, I don't hear anything that sounds like it. So, yeah.
Okay, and the other question is, this pretty much applies to each and every artist around. What gives you inspo? For example, Hi, that was the first song I listened to and I loved it. And I was actually very happy when you played it at Blankets.
Yeah.
Niliko hapo, front line, hapo.
Chukua chap on a bass.
Yeah. I could feel it. Yeah, I could feel the bass. What was my question again? Oh my God. My thought process.
Train of thought, man.
Oh my God.
Train of thought iko SGR.
Yeah, probably your inspo behind songs, having Hahe as the main example.
Hey, I was actually listening to so much Lil Wayne at the time. So, like, if you hear the cadence, it's different from a lot of the way I normally write, and it's just like me. I like to look at music like acting, and so the song tells me something. It's like as soon as I had that song, because Musioka brought it to the house we were living in at the time. And as soon as I had it, I was just like, this song has some gangster shit on it. It's just like you need to feel like you're untouchable. And so that's the vibe so in terms of acting, I was acting out on that song the way I feel it. And it's like, it's a very different approach from other songs. It's like Mungwalali as soon as I made it, it tells me something else. Attention, as soon as I hear it, it's just like, you need to be in this mode for this thing. So that's the inspo is just like movies.
Okay. Fine. That one.
Hauna swali ingine?
No.
Kuna maswali.
Anita, uko na swali?
Kwa wasewa. Anita, hey, you go kill somebody.
Hi, Blinky.
Sema ni aje?
Poa sana. My name is Anita.
Oh, nice to meet you, Anita.
Nice to meet you. I hope uko fiti leo.
Anita, by the way, people have so many songs.
Anita. Not just Matanya. I thought it was just that one.
Jivo have a song with Calligraph called
Really?
Anita. Maybe Ajatoka. Cavemen have a
Damn.
song called Anita.
And released Anita. Damn.
It's Cavemen. Go.
No, not
Yeah.
Caveman. I haven't listened to the Caveman one,
Yeah.
but like the Jivo one.
Free Anita.
Yeah, so I had a question. Although you might have covered it, but it was from a conversation that we had, so I'm hoping that you hadn't.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know, you said something about this being like a landmark album for you.
Yeah.
And the fact that this isn't like this feels like more of a definitive beginning
Yeah.
for like a new part of your career.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what colors this new era for you. Is it like a change in genre? Is it a change in... I'm not sure if you had answered it again, so please bear with me.
Bu alipwe ongeza pesa yake. I think it marks me being such a producer. It's just like before I am a producer, but I've not owned it as much as I've owned it on this project. Where it's just like, there's things you're gonna hear. You're just like, I didn't even know this guy has this in him. It's just like, even though ilikuwa inafanyika, some things have happened by chance, where it's just like you heard that song with the chick who sounds like Sister Nancy. And it's like, I don't think people know that side of me. It's just like where I do listen to so much music. And also, I've not explored so many different sounds. So it marks me like owning that producer tag for real.
That's dope.
Mi nataka tu kukaa na Beyonce kwa studio siku moja. Yeah,
The next single ladies.
Inshallah.
Single do this.
After hiyo nafunga job naenda Bondo bana.
And
Come on,
kutoka
Molo.
Bondo.
And I just wanted to say that, like yeah, I'm excited about it. I haven't heard it, so I guess first listen yangu itakuwa on Spotify literally. But I'm excited because that's a part of you that I've always enjoyed.
Yeah.
I didn't want to gush about it on the podcast, but ni podcast yetu is the last episode of the year. I feel like you have the most diverse taste of anyone I've ever seen. I listen to your playlists on Bill Salanga and I'm like, yo, what's this guy usually on? And I've heard it in the music like a little bit, but like I'm excited to hear what this project like brings out for you and just what the next couple of I don't know. Are you gonna like roll out more singles for us? Or are you going to leave us in the drought for like 5 years?
No. After this is the album. After this it's it. Because even me, I feel like the thing that happens is I have enough in my tank for this project, and then after it comes out, then I can see more clearly, which is what happened with the last album. When it came out, now I was like, and I was telling someone that I always punch above my weight when it comes to production. And so the thing that now makes me happy is like when this is out, then I can figure out other things. And it's like even the singles that have come out before this project, like the song with Idaziz, song with Lisa, song with Calligraph and Manifest, Jam Now, Simmer Down. All of these have been like pockets of me like assuming, okay, hii sound nataka kucheza na. Yeah. Our sponsors wanalia.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just to point out by the how much music this guy knows. There was a time I was in a studio and I was playing him a song by Key Glock, Chromosomes, and he got the sample within the first second. Like the song just started and he was like, yo, this is the song, this is the DMX sample. And we looked it up and it actually was the DMX sample. So like
Nata huko unajua ni DMX.
and I was going to join DMX. Me look for like, no, you can't be serious. This is, and then it's like we look it up, it's where the hood at.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. Within the first like second, the song just starts here, the beat hits and it's like, this is a DMX sample. So yeah, like I would love exactly when Suki amesema, seeing that exploration on a project would be, especially for your fans, would be a whole new.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's just like approach it with an open mind, which is which is what I've really done on this. But I'm no more talking about it.
I think Blinky has complained enough about talking. I think I may lose a bit of his mystery.
But hamtaniona tena.
So again, this is literally the end. So, thank you guys for vibing with us. Catch you on the flip side.